Hey there. Have you ever had somebody falsely repeat your words back to you? Or perhaps they described your character in a way that you deeply know is untrue? My name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is the lens. Since 2026 has started, I don't know about y'all, I had a really rough 2025, and I was like, 2026 is the year. Sagittarius has been going through it for several years now, and 2026 is a year where things are supposed to shift if you're a Sag like I am. And all of that natural, optimistic, joyous spirit of your being is going to be reactivated this year. So I've been really looking forward to 20s. Like, thank you for all the tough lessons. I can't wait to just laugh like the clown I am. And in the past few weeks, I've had several different interactions that there are things that I require evolution on. For example, if you yell at me, I'm going to yell back. I'm not evolved on that. Just, if you yell at me and you start to escalate the volume, I'm going to escalate the volume. And that's not helpful a lot of the time. So that's one of the things that Heather's working to evolve on. But I had a few different instances in which people were yelling into my face. In one of them, I was going to help someone, and I went to go say something to someone that I find very interesting and consider a friend, and I was saying it to be helpful, which is always Heather's intent, and it was perceived as if I was just trying to not do my job or not follow the rules or whatever articulation of that was present was I'm just saying I'm not going to do this, which is not the intent I had, not what I was talking about, and not why I said what I said. I literally said it to be a friend and to be supportive and to be helpful, and didn't know the rules, you know? And so this individual and I think ultimately we're able to clean it up. It's like, okay, I'll do it this way if you want it this way. But the truth of my being, the truth of my intent, the truth of why I have spoken in the first place was not seen at all. And what makes me so deeply sad about this is that often the reason that occurs is because people are looking through a lens of their own experiences. And if you're somebody who has been misunderstood or yourself has been attacked or has had people trying to get away with something, or you've been dealing with some sneaky mofos out there, then you might assume every person coming at you is another sneaky mofo, or is another person that's being malicious, or is another person that's trying to do harm. And my heart hurts that sometimes the lens people are looking through is this is going to be another problem because they've faced so many trials, tribulations, and problems. And I don't like that. I don't want that for my brethren. I understand we're evolving. But I feel sad that it's like, wow, this became something wholly other than what it was. And I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure what I could have done different because I spoke in the first place to be supportive. I could, however, not escalate when things get escalated. And I had that experience again. I had another person and this person has yelled at me a few times in the past week or two. And they've told me that I've said things that I have never said in my life. In 5 decades, those sentences have never come out of my mouth. I've said something adjacent to it. I said this thing over here that's actually true, but I didn't say that, which is deeply untrue, and I wouldn't say because it's untrue. And it's frustrating when somebody tries to reflect you back to you, and they tell you, you said these words you didn't say, and they're committed. This is what you said. Or they tell you, like, this is the truth of how you think or what you feel or who you are. And they're defining some false perception of you to you because they are looking through the lens of the past. Some people have faced all kinds of betrayal and trauma. And although I wholeheartedly believe at the heart of it all, we are the beauty and the glory of love, some two-leggeds, irrespective of their culture, of their gender, of their whatever XYZ label you want to put on a human, have had very difficult lives. And the lens they view life through is that more of same is what they can expect out of you and you and you and you and anyone that comes through the door. And I was at Mountain, Heather's taking a 6-month hiatus, and all the lovely people in my life that I adore have been kind enough to understand that I'm taking 6 months to really contain my energy to focus on some specific healing stuff that needs to happen for me right now. And I'm so grateful to everyone that I love. I'm thinking of them often while I kind of withdraw my attention and energy into the self to heal something that's going on with me. And I was at the mountain, and when I'm at the mountain, I'm often talking to the nature spirits. I feel quite at home in the forest. It's a much greater frequency match to the truth of who I am to be in a forest staring at a deer than anything else down here that it is that I'm doing. Squawking at birds, that is more of a frequency match to who this being is. But I was telling the mountain, like, I don't need to be seen and heard. Actually, I don't need you to see Heather Feather. I don't need you to hear my stories. I was invoked and inspired by what I believe is the divine to do these videos, even though I have lots of anxiety around it, and it's helped me to be doing them for so long. But I was telling the forest, like, I don't need people to see me. I don't need to be known. I don't need to be heard. On a lot of levels, I don't even want that. I would like, however, that when people experience me, that they experience the truth of me, not some false perception from the lens they are looking through of their past, expecting the past to arrive again. And sometimes that trauma can be so deeply rooted in another person, and they haven't done their shadow integration work. And so it's just like, I just got to be, on alert at all times. Somebody's out to get me. And I hate that. I hate that for others. Man, I wish you didn't have so much of that experience, that you can't come into a space of not only trusting that what you've been asking for has arrived, but also being able to witness it instead of witnessing the story you've been seeing, because that's the lens that is over your eyes. It hurts my heart to because my intent is always love. It hurts my heart to be so falsely received. And it makes me deeply angry. And really, anger is the tip of the iceberg of sadness. And what it is it makes me deeply sad. It makes me deeply sad that it's so easy to hold such a lowly opinion of others without asking them questions, without making sure that what you've perceived is a correct perception and that you are aligned with the truth, assuming when they correct the perception that they're lying and you know the absolute truth. It's like, there's a little bit of truth in both parties' perceptions, because anytime two people are going head to head and having a misunderstanding, they are perceiving through their own filters of how they have received a life and developed a personality and what they've come to expect. And I am working very diligently to pay attention to the lens I'm looking through. I ask God all the time, and I ask spirits, like, whether people hear me, see me, know me, understand me, whether I'm remembered, I really actually don't care about any of that. What I would appreciate is if they're going to tell me that they've seen me, that they have truly seen me. If you're going to tell me that you heard me, then you should be repeating what I said. If you're not, or not even close to it, then you're not talking about me. You're talking about your past. Is there anyone in the river of your life that you feel doesn't understand you, doesn't hear you, doesn't see you? Do you ever consider the lens that they may be looking through? It's one of the ways that I know to pray. When I see something like this, it's like, okay, I'm going to pray for all parties involved, but I'm really going to pray that you be able to witness the truth. One of the things I've seen often in this world, I love love. I actively practice unconditional love. I actively practice being open and being able to relate to others and have closeness and intimacy and intuicy, and to be truly open to talk about anything, open and free to express the self, open to be who you are and be loved as I witness your shadow and your light. And a lot of people have assumed that I am fake. And I've had this happen with my sister too. She's a great teacher in my life. She's had people do the same with her. Now that I've worked with you 11 years, I realize you are authentically this loving, and it's like, it took you 11 years to know that I meant it, and that has to do with their lens of not believing that love or helpfulness or kindness or honor will show up. Now, all of those things can show up in the room, and still you may be dealing with a human. You're not going to have perfection show up in the room, But what lens are you looking through upon the world? How often are your issues related to your perception you've chosen? And how often are the issues you are facing based on false lenses and false perceptions that people hold? You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube. I'm